Okay, I'm gonna finish icing this cake and keep going with the questions. Okay, so the next question is asking about conversations in a social setting. I guess food definitely is one of them. My husband actually hates it when my pastry friends come over because all we talk about is food, and he can't really relate. So I feel bad for him, but I can't help it. So definitely food and traveling. I do love to travel, so that's kind of a conversation I like to have too, because I always like to hear about different places people have been, but I've never been to New York City, so I would love to come and see it. So I love to hear about where people have been and what other places are like, so that's always a good conversation too. Okay, what else we got here? Where do I get my recipes from? Google. I Google everything. Definitely from the internet. There's some really good blogs out there. Like there's this woman in Ontario, I think out of Toronto, and her blog is called Sweetopolita, and she has some amazing recipes. And I mean cookbooks and yeah, wherever you can get recipes. Someone gives you one. Old pastry chefs I've worked with, wherever, I just collect them. So keep them, hang on to them. You'll always need them. And putting my own twist on them. Well, every time I bake, some of them you just want to leave alone. Some are just awesome recipes, so don't screw with them. Keep them simple. But other ones, yeah, try something new in it every time. Whatever you can do to put your own twist on it. Try new ingredients, switch some things up, try different chocolate, whatever. Lots of different things to put your own twist on recipes. Okay, how would I describe myself in terms of baking, decorating, and desserts? Baking, I would say I'm an expert. I've had a lot of training. It's what I do every single day of my life. I love it. Desserts and pastry, also an expert. Once again, my training, my work speaks for itself. But decorating, I would say I'm average. Just because I don't do it as often as I would like to. Like these kind of cakes, what I'm doing right now, yeah, I do these things all the time. However, I don't get to do the crazy sculpted cakes and stuff all the time because I just don't have that kind of job right now. I would love to do it. I definitely want to own my own bakery someday where I can do that every day. But right now, I just don't have that job. So that's where I would just put myself as average on that. Okay, what else? Types of elaborate cakes I've made. Let's see, I've made cakes that are full replicas of buildings. That was a pretty big one. I mean, that was probably like 5 feet long, a couple feet high, and just windows and everything. So that was a pretty elaborate cake I made. And honestly, this one that I have coming up that's going to look like a giant dump truck, that's going to be really elaborate. The whole 5-tiered wedding cake in an hour? I don't know about that. That would be, sure, if I had a team. But it'd be a challenge. Definitely willing to try it, but I'm not so sure if I could pull that off. I would definitely try it though. And the biggest cake I made, I have made 5-tiered wedding cakes before. A replica of a building was probably one of the biggest. It was really long. Like I said, it was like 5 feet long, a couple feet high. That was a really big cake. Yeah, that was probably the biggest cake I made. Okay. Oh, my neighbor's kids are gonna love this cake. Okay, what kind of construction and technical abilities do I have? Well, let's see here. I'm gonna get out my stir to finish this cake. And the new piping bag. While I answer this. My construction, I'm pretty good with it. Actually, I gotta say, I have a carpenter at work who cuts a lot of wood and stuff for me. So that's a giant help. But, I can be pretty good at stuff like that, like figuring out what kind of construction I need for certain cakes. Once again, I don't have a lot of experience doing that, but I'm pretty good at figuring out how a cake should go together and what kind of construction I will need for that. And I'm pretty good with the modeling of stuff. You know, my technical abilities, pretty good at that stuff. The hardest design of a cake I've ever done, once again, it'll be that that cake I have coming up, the dump truck. But you know what? I have made a football and a football helmet before. And those are actually pretty hard because the way you have to carve those to be so round and smooth, those were pretty difficult, I gotta say. Yeah, carving is, you know, is definitely an acquired skill. You really have to work on that. So those are pretty hard designs. How are my decorating skills and time constraints? Pretty good. I'm actually really taking my time doing this cake today, but I can ice a cake in like a few minutes, definitely. So I work really well under pressure, I guess. Try to anyway. You know, what makes a great cake decorator or baker, and what makes a bad one? Well, experience for one always helps. Practice, of course. And you know what? The love of food really helps. I think no matter what you do in life, you have to be passionate about it. You know, like you spend more time at work than anything else. So I think that passion really makes a great baker, for sure. What makes a bad one? I don't know, just lack of talent to begin with. Like, I've worked with some bad bakers, you know. They've been doing it for years, but they just don't have what it takes, and they lack passion. They don't want to be there. So to me, that makes a bad baker. I like to put some of this German filling on the top too. It's so good. So that's what I'm doing right now. Okay, what else? Quickfire challenges and group challenges. I'll definitely excel at the group challenges because my whole life I've been in a group. You know, like I was a soccer player for years, and team environment. Everything's a team environment. Kitchens, bakeries, no matter what. So I'll definitely excel at the group challenges, and the quickfire ones, I think they're so exciting, you know, definitely to watch, but I think I'll be pretty good at those. I don't know what else to say. What would be my strengths and weaknesses? Once again, my strength would be the group challenges, and I work well under pressure. A weakness, maybe just nerves. I mean, it's going to be a pretty nervous situation to begin with, so. But I think I'll eventually overcome those. So. What kind of a role do I generally play in groups? I'm that person that everyone else relies on to make the plans. Like, I guess I'm just a good delegator like that. You know, everyone can talk to me. Everyone says I'm really easy to approach. So I'm just that go-to person. People want to make a plan, then they want to know what everyone else is doing, they'll come to me. They just expect me to make the plan, so that's the type of person I am. Competitive, definitely. I played varsity soccer, and like I said, I played soccer for years, so I definitely have that competitive nature in me. I think it can be a good thing. I think, you know, if you want anything in this life, you have to work towards it, and so being competitive and wanting to beat your competition is definitely a must, so yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to finish up this cake real quick, and then we'll stop this section and we'll move on to the last of the questions. Okay, there we go. Yum.